The fabulous Jalan Raja in Kuala Lumpur is the traditional starting point for the Rally of Malaysia. This Saturday afternoon starting ceremony is one of the most spectacular and colourful anywhere in the world. But few motorsport events have the honour to have the country's Prime Minister attend to flag off the cars. Dr. Mahathir, suitably dressed for the occasion, mingled with officials and drivers and was much impressed by what he saw. How important is motorsport to Malaysia?
It's becoming increasingly more important, and there is a great deal of interest, and lots of people are keen to watch these events and participate. Also, the fact that we build our own cars now, this has created, of course, a greater national interest, because it's not other people's cars, their own car.
At 4 o'clock precisely, the Mitsubishi Galant of Ross Dunkerton is sent on its way. Ahead, nearly 400 kilometres of special stage driving. New in 1992 was a 1 kilometre stage in Taman Tasak Perdana, a park in the city limits of Kuala Lumpur. It was a far cry from the mud and dust of the plantations, but Ross Dunkerton, the acknowledged master of those plantations, showed he was equally at home on tarmac, and although he had to take second best to Japan's Onishi here, he and co-driver Fred Gusentus looked confident. Rod Millen from New Zealand now lives in California, where he races as well as rallies. The asphalt surface here was right up his street, but the slightly lower powered Mazda had to give 8 seconds away to Dunkerton's Mitsubishi Galant. David Llewellyn's new-shaped Toyota had been built in the UK and had extensive testing for this Petronas Rally of Malaysia. Llewellyn would surely be a force to be reckoned with. He's driven for Austin Rover, Audi and Nissan Works teams, as well as Toyota. He says he prefers gravel, but looks at home here, but suddenly drama. Co-driver Steve Turvey disembarks to inspect proceedings. Cruel luck for the crew who've flown 7,000 miles to be here. The problem is a broken throttle linkage, but to add to their troubles, the Toyota had blown the turbo. There's only one thing for it, an uncomfortable ride for Turvey. William May was driving very sensibly with his usual smooth style. He was looking good in the important Group N section. Ross Dunkerton and Fred Gusentus were holding an overall lead despite Llewellyn's charge. Dunkerton has won the Rally of Malaysia a record 4 times. Rod Millen admits that his Mazda goes better when it's wet and was, as usual, having to settle for second place, having the added problem of Dunkerton's dust. The route would be as big a challenge as any rally in the world. Let's hope it won't be long before these tracks play host to the likes of Kankanen, Sainz and Biasion. Meanwhile, Australia's only A-seeded world-class driver Ross Dunkerton was continuing his trouble-free drive in this event. Millen could do little about Dunkerton's speed other than try to keep on terms with his good friend and adversary and pray for rain. Onishi was having his own battle, trying to keep in the top 5, but so far keeping out of trouble as the rally headed back to KL for a 9-hour break before leg 2. The man he was battling with was Endo and his Malaysian co-driver Susi Wai. But this particular battle would soon be decided, for on the Tanah Merah estate, on leg 2, Onishi and Hayashi hit problems that would prove terminal.
3 kilometers before puncture, and maybe harness come off.
What, the tyre come off?
Yeah, maybe.
And what else? Damage the electrics?
Yes.
The stages of day 2 were south of Kuala Lumpur in the Seremban region, but saw no change at the top as Dunkerton and his main opposition, Rod Millen, continued their high-speed charge at the head of the field. Another Japanese visitor was Mikio Saito in his Mitsubishi Mirage. He and co-driver Tanaka were up in 12th place. As night fell, the conditions improved and it looked as though it would be something of a procession. Once again, the Rally of Malaysia had lived up to expectations and presented a tough challenge to drivers from home and away. But in rallying, anything can happen. And on stage 27, the Monmouth stage, Mark Lovell's excellent drive came to an abrupt stop. What's the problem, Mark?
Well, we came out of this 90 right here and just went up into third gear. It was a hell of a bang, and I think one of the main shafts is bust. Coming out of the gearbox into the sort of transfer job. We're off the road, so everything should be all right, but I mean, it's just in a lap of the gods. If we can get this changed, it'd be a bloody miracle.
Can I have everybody out from here, please?
Especially when you get some bloody chief like this shouting.
Cars are coming.
Unfortunately, repairs took nearly half an hour, but Lovell continued in the hope of a team award.